Good morning, 7 o'clock, I'm Simon Hobbs. Dow 10,000, Nasdaq 2,000. Will it last? We'll attempt to answer that during the course of the next hour. Our main headlines for Thursday the 6th of December. Europe's biggest IPO since September 11 hits the Milan Bolsa at 9:30. Snam Reti Gas is 5 times oversubscribed, and shares in Eni's pipeline business could well bounce at the Italian Open. Vivendi Universal's chairman looks for a tie-up with America's cable king.
Good morning there, Manus Cranny. Welcome to the show. Siemens, at the press conference today, they're going to tell us what their strategy is. They're going to tell us what their expectations are. Stay with me and I'll tell you what the analysts are suggesting.
And good morning, I'm Leon Hawthorne. Coming up in the news, the Afghan Prime Minister narrowly escapes being killed by US airstrikes. The Pentagon orders an inquiry into the friendly fire that killed 5 Afghans and 3 US soldiers.
Check out these closes in the United States last night. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is above 10,000. The Nasdaq is above 2,000. I mean, it's nice to see. The technical analysts would say, yeah, but bear in mind, after this 11-week run that we're still on the S&P and indeed the Dow at the sort of levels we were 3 years ago. So they don't get terribly excited by it. But I guess an average punter would. The numbers I've been given for fair value are garbage, I'm afraid. So you just have to take that at face value, the futures market at the moment. But it's very early days to be taking a lead from the futures market anyway. You know how rapidly you can have that turnaround this way and that during the course of the morning in Europe. Let's have a check on where we are with the fixed income markets. And Manus Cranny. Manus.
Simon, thanks for that. And really, the sentiment has changed very aggressively, both late yesterday afternoon in the US and indeed overnight in Tokyo. The perception is this, as far as the prices on the short end of the curve, as you can see there, very definitely a reaction with these equities breaking new important levels, as you said, 10,000 on the Dow, 2,000 on the Nasdaq. Simon.
Thank you very much, Manus. Today, of course, we have a European Central Bank meeting. More live from Frankfurt shortly on that. But first, let's check on the Asian equity market. Green on the screen. Again, look at Taiwan. That must be up 17%, 16-17% this week. Phenomenal. A big bankruptcy potentially coming through in Tokyo. That's hurt the banks there and taken us off our highs on the Nikkei 225. Grace Phan joins us live from Singapore to run us through the action. Grace, good afternoon.
Good morning to you, Simon. Well, with the exception of Korea, which was up 6% yesterday, remember, the rest of Asia's markets, as you saw on the boards, are trading quite a bit higher. The tech's an active play. The Nikkei closing about 1 1/3% higher. No surprise that chip-related shares like Tokyo Electron fueled the Nikkei's rise on the back of that near 8% surge on the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index. Simon, that's a very quick look at the action in Tokyo today. I'm going to toss it back to you.
Super. Thank you very much. And a great new look, Grace. Thank you for joining us. Grace Phan in Singapore. Let's have a quick check on where we are with the foreign exchange market so far. Not a lot of movement on many of the crosses, but not all. Pound dollar holding relatively firm. And of course, today we have a European Central Bank meeting over in Frankfurt. We will cross there very shortly. Let's link live then. Sorry about the pause. We were just getting our technical bits and bobs together. We crossed live to Ben Pedley in Singapore. And also we are live outside the European Central Bank in Frankfurt, where John Holland joins us with a rather fetching anorak and a comedy pair of gloves. First, let's go over to Ben Pedley in Singapore and talk about this spike that we've got on dollar yen and euro yen as well. Ben, over to you.
Simon, no need for gloves in this part of the world at this time of year, or for that matter at any time. Yes, dollar yen sharply higher, 18-week high. We've been as high as 124.80. The reason being is this a report from the Kyoto news agency out of Tokyo that Aoki Corp, a mid-sized construction company that's got very close links with the Koizumi administration, is apparently filing for court-led rehabilitation with group debts somewhere in the order of 500 billion Japanese yen. The euro-dollar exchange rate, which is probably the most important one to look at, is just edging slightly lower.
88 US cents, 77. OK, let's link to Frankfurt then. John Holland outside the European Central Bank headquarters. Are we expecting them to move today, John?
No, we're not, Simon. 27 out of the 28 Dow Jones experts polled predicted we'll keep the rates on hold here today, but 25 of the 28 said that they do expect a rate cut at the next session, rate cutting session, early in January or in February at the latest.